It was a visit to shore up a partnership that has weathered all types of storms. President Recep Tayyip Erdogan and Qatar's Emir Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani signed 15 new trade and investment deals during the Turkish leader's two-day visit to Doha. Speaking to the press, President Erdogan said that the two countries are also negotiating with the Taliban on the operation of Kabul's airport. Hadia Al-Alawi reports.
A two-day visit yielding closer ties between two regional powers. The Turkish and Qatari leaders signed 15 new agreements on topics ranging from investment, development and health to media diplomacy and disaster management.
Türkiye olarak Katar'la birlikte tüm Körfez bölgesinin huzur ve esenliğine büyük önem veriyoruz. Bu topraklarda asla gerilim, çatışma ve husumet görmek istemiyoruz.
Doha also agreed to extend a currency swap agreement between the two countries' central banks for another 3 years. The agreement was tripled to $15 billion from $5 billion last year, bolstering Turkey's foreign reserves and steadying the lira.
We are confident that the economy of Turkey is strong, is diverse, and has its very strong foundation and basis that will help it to go through this current circumstances. Qatar is heavily investing in Turkey, and these investments are doing very well.
As well as trade, Qatar and Turkey have also strengthened military ties in recent years. Erdogan visited Turkey's only military base in the Gulf region, where thousands of Turkish soldiers are based. Ankara and Doha have enjoyed closer ties since other Gulf countries imposed a blockade on Qatar in 2017, isolating the state from its neighbors. That row ended in January, helping to thaw Turkey's relations with other Arab states, including Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and the UAE. The UAE's de facto ruler, Crown Prince Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, visited Turkey last month for the first time in a decade. A trip that resulted in billions of dollars of investments and a fresh start for Turkey's relations with the Arab world. Hadia Al-Alawi, TRT World.
And to discuss what was achieved during the visit, I'm joined from Istanbul by Mithat Rende. He's a former Turkish ambassador to Qatar. And from Doha, Farhan Mujahid Chak. He is an associate professor at Qatar University. Gentlemen, welcome to Straight Talk. It's good to have you on the program. Farhan, what could you tell us about the significance of the Turkish President Erdogan's visit to Qatar as it comes at a time when Turkey is establishing a new era in relations with Arab and Gulf countries?
It's a pleasure to be here, Aisha. Thank you very much for having me. So as you mentioned, this is a fantastic moment, and honestly, a moment that they've been validated. The position of Turkey, the position of Qatar for the region has been validated. And rather than look at it as what many people are talking about it as a new normalization, I really characterize this as a new configuration of power that is emerging within the region, whereas the center point and the bedrock of this power is the Qatar-Turkey bloc. So this is the 7th high strategic meeting between the two countries, and it has resulted in at 15 memorandums of understanding. 15. So and it just goes to a deeper and deeper strategic level. The depth of this partnership. So there is a lot to be talked about, and it's a great moment for the two countries.
So, Mithat, as Farhan just mentioned, 15 agreements were signed, including the extension of a currency swap deal. How impactful will these agreements or deals be for Turkey's economy in the long term?
Well, this visit gave the opportunity to the Turkish and Qatari leaders and their delegations to conclude, as you rightly said, so many agreements with a view to enhancing and further diversifying their bilateral relations. But also on this opportunity, they had the chance, I think, to also to have a good exchange of view on regional issues, namely Afghanistan and Syria and Libya. So, and also probably they had also raised the issue of training maybe Qatari pilots in Turkey, military cooperation. and cooperation in their various fields. For example, also probably the security issues related to the forthcoming World Cup also. Yes. So there are, yes, so many MOUs and agreements have been signed in the interest of the two parties, hopefully.
So, Farhan, have strong ties between Qatar and Turkey encouraged other regional countries to reach out to Turkey?
That's exactly the key point. As a matter of fact, I think another issue that hasn't been touched on a lot, but I'd like to bring out as much as I can, is the, let's say, the falling relationship between Saudi Arabia and the UAE. I believe that has been a critical factor in the other countries since their camaraderie is kind of collapsed, their alliance is broken. So now they're looking to kind of remaneuver, and they see the depths of the Qatari-Turkish relationship, and they're trying to reach out now to Turkey and to Qatar both. So I think that absolutely the strength and the unity that both Qatar and Turkey project, I believe it should be an impetus for others to join and to expand this. And this is what we're seeing.
So, Mithat, as a former ambassador, how do you read the latest developments? I mean, what's happening there? How political balances are shifting in the region? And what do you make of their timing?
I think Turkey also made a new assessment of the situation in the Gulf, and they decided to also seek the possibility of normalization of relations, the strained relations between Turkey and Saudi Arabia, and strained relations between Turkey and the United Arab Emirates. Mm-hmm. So both sides showed the political will initially, and they decided to mend fences. It might take time, but the visit of Prince Tahnoun, the National Security Advisor of the United Arab Emirates to Turkey, followed by the visit of the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Zayed, were some good steps in order to restore confidence between the two countries, and I think we should welcome this development. So what is missing is the yes, go ahead. What is missing is the relationship between Turkey and Saudi Arabia, and we hope that they will be lifting the unofficial embargo on Turkish products and Turkish companies. So in order to also maybe start normalizing relations with the with Saudi Arabia.
So Farhan, how much of this flurry and diplomatic meetings is riding on Washington's partial withdrawal from the region? I mean, has Washington lost credibility in the eyes of his Gulf partners after this chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan?
I think it's a fantastic question, Aisha. To be honest, I think in the region, the U.S. never had credibility. They were never a credible, mediator. And so their withdrawal from Afghanistan and all the talk of their shift to the Asia Pacific, this kind of just cemented the countries in the region to kind of remaneuver. And absolutely, it did have an effect on many countries. But if you look at it, the Turkish and Qatari positions have been the same. There's a very sophisticated and mature and a long-term vision that both countries share for the region. Mm-hmm. And that has played a very pivotal role in their increasing relationship. And I would like to add that I think they can benefit one another in other ways too. As the reach out to Saudi, to Qatar can come forward and play a mediatory role between Turkey and Saudi Arabia, and likewise with the UAE now approaching Turkey, so that can also play some kind of a mediator role between, UAE and Qatar. So there is a win-win situation in this.
So, Mithat, you say it'll take some time to mend ties with all of these regional countries, but could these latest political maneuvers push or help regional countries and Turkey to put tensions on hold in disputed places like Syria, Yemen, Libya, as well as Eastern Mediterranean, which is of crucial importance for Turkey?
Well, yes, you're right. I mean, it's no secret that Turkey has diverging views as regards regional issues with Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, with Egypt. Mm-hmm. But if there is a will, then they can try to mend fences and try to contain the disagreements on regional issues, and maybe finding a common ground. You should start by economic cooperation, by cooperation in the field of energy, in any other on climate change, on water issues, and many other issues there are that they can start to normalize, and then they should be able to contain some problems and diverging views. As regards to the United States, my humble view is that the United States has no luxury to leave the Middle East. First and foremost, for the security of Israel. Then again, to contain Iran if possible, and also to keep China out of the Middle East if possible, and to be able to keep energy prices, and mainly oil and natural gas prices, under control. Yes. So it is an important job and mission for the United States. So they are encouraging regional countries, including Turkey and the Gulf, to engage with each other, because they don't want their allies and partners to be at odds with each other.
So, Farhan, the Saudi Crown Prince is touring regional countries, and the UAE's de facto leader's brother has visited Iran. How do these efforts to normalize impact Iran, and does it face further isolation?
So, absolutely. I think that you hit the nail on top of the head. Right now, there's a jostling for position amongst all the regional powers, especially the four main powers within the Middle East. So you'll have Iran, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt. So Egypt is also a very important factor here. So everyone is trying to kind of position themselves, but I do feel that the partnership and the focus of our discussion on the partnership between Turkey and Qatar is critical, because that partnership should be expanded. It should be expanded in ways that kind of cement this bloc and cement those that have a shared vision for this region, whether it comes to economy or military. And there should be a reach out to Pakistan. There should be a reach out to, in Tunisia in ways that are possible. So this should be expanded. And then we can confront the other issues that are deep-seated within the region.
Yes, speaking of expansion, Mithat, Turkish President Erdogan said he is ready to improve ties with Israel if it is more sensitive to Palestine. Are we likely to see a similar normalization process with Israel soon?
Yes, I think there's also, as regards Turkish-Israeli relations, both sides have expressed their will and their intention to normalize. It will be a gradual normalization. Probably they should start by restoring ambassadorial ties. It's a pity that we don't have a Turkish ambassador in Tel Aviv.
But if we have a new ambassador or an envoy, where would he or she go? Tel Aviv or Jerusalem?
They would go to, of course, they would go to Tel Aviv. Okay. Of course, to Tel Aviv. And they should start also, like in the case of the United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia. During this normalization process, both sides could focus on cooperation in the economic field, trade, energy. For example, as regards energy and the Eastern Mediterranean natural gas discoveries, Turkey is in a good position to engage with Israel with a view to monetizing the Israeli gas. So there are many other ways to improve relations, of course. And when there is confidence restored, then you can deal with more thorny issues like the Palestinian issue and other matters.
All right, gentlemen, unfortunately, we'll have to leave it here. Thank you very much for joining us on Straight Talk.